have read our first letter. Now it's time for us to get into our second letter. Ladies, hi sisters. We are in our late 30s and we have been in a relationship for the past 3 years, and I have performed the knocking rights. We live together in a rented apartment. She contributed 20% and me 80%. We don't have any children. She pushes me off anytime I want to make love to her. We have never had sex before, even though we have done our medicals and are both compatible. Because of her age, my parents want to see a grandchild before we get married. But you're both in your 30s. Okay. She sometimes becomes aggressive when I want to touch her to the extent of biting me. She insists on no wedding, no sex. I'm getting confused. Why conflict tradition with religion? Eesh. I've been taking care of the home and all her needs. I got her a job, but I still give her money every single day. She has never disclosed her finances to me. Her family recently gave me a long list of items to buy for the marriage ceremony. I pleaded with her to talk to them so they reduced the number of items on the list so I could afford them. She responds that she couldn't do anything about it. I'm thinking about moving out of the house to stay away from her. This will enable me to save money in order to perform the traditional marriage rites. Please help me, sisters. This is a cry for help.
Oh boy. So they are living together.
And he wants to be doing what she doesn't want to do.
But she contributed 20%. So she sounds very, very well. Because she's not married and she's contributed 20%. But she's also staying there, right?
Oh, she's also staying there.
Okay.
Oh, no, you can continue.
Okay, so my take is that, look, I don't know what you mean by confusing religion with tradition. Because is it a tradition that you give birth before you get married? Because all over the world, I don't see, is there any tradition that you give birth? No. So that part I did not get.
I think he means that they've gone to do the knocking, which is the tradition. So when you do the knocking, you have not done the proper marriage though, but you have made the family know that.
But that's not enough.
You see,
and he said something. Let's put it into context that he said that his parents want her to give birth
because of the age. I want that.
And they're both in their 30s.
So I want to go on to that tangent. So the thing is that, to start with, that tradition versus religion confused me a bit.
Yeah.
Now, marriage is not a joke. It's not child's play. Having children is not a must. It's a gift from God. Some have given birth in their 50s, women.
Yeah.
Some too are 18 and they can't have a child. So with these parents thinking that they want you to have a child before you go and do the marriage, ceremony and everything, for me, I think it's a bit insulting to either the woman or the man, whichever way you look at it, especially to the woman, because I'm sure it's the man's family that's putting that kind of pressure. And then both of you are living in the same house. I don't know why you are playing with fire. Once the lady doesn't want to have sex with you before marriage, I don't know what both of you are doing in the same space.
Yeah.
You are playing marriage without sex. So it's like he's getting frustrated because day in, day out, she wakes up, looks at her, can't have her, and is leaving. Now, very soon, the attraction is going to result in, how do you call it? Resentment. Yes. She's going to start resenting her because the girl is punishing her. He wakes up in the morning, she's going to take a bath, she sees her. Towel wrapped around, she sees her. Some shorts moving up and down, she sees her. She will also get comfortable, some bra and yet she says don't touch. Then you are getting frustrated. Then you are feeling resentful. I think that the whole arrangement is wrong. If you love the girl, you want to marry her. I don't think marriage is expensive unless you want to make it expensive. You can have a court signing. 4 people witness. Because gone are the days when traditional marriage was enough. Because I would say it, before, the conscience of the people that partake in the traditional marriage were up there. So even when the man is messing up, the woman is messing up, the family members are able to bring people to book. But now, in the generation that we are in now, in the economy that we are in now, you realize that sometimes the traditional marriage alone is not enough to suffice, because the exit is very easy.
Yeah.
Exit is just a drink that you return. Once you return the drink, it's as good as I'm done. I won't do. That's it. So people are more opting for a signed marriage, a civil marriage, a court marriage, so that at least when you start investing your heart, your emotions, your finances, going out is as difficult as the investments that you have made in the marriage.
Yeah, so, okay, because would you say people or women are the ones preferring the court wedding? Because on Twitter, okay, where I come from, in Nigeria, obviously, I'm Igbo, and Igbo, there are a lot of patriarchal men, and on Twitter you see them having these discussions saying, never ever have a court wedding, because the woman is going to mess you up at the end of the day. She's planning to divorce you and take everything.
These are men. So you see, if you're a
that?
man and you're afraid of a court wedding, the question is that are you thinking of messing up before the marriage even starts? Do you have an agenda? But my thing is that, you see, for both of them, because there are also there are also men who have been bent heavily from women. Like, it goes both ways. So the court wedding, the breakup, it goes both ways. There are times where the woman is the one messing up, you the man, you want to get out, and it's difficult for you, but you have to get out. You understand? So it goes both ways. And my take is that now it's very easy to break a traditional marriage. And now the traditional, those times that there's a busuapenyi, their elders, and all of those people, now it's not seen as much. It's only during funeral time that you see their strength.
And that is, and why would you say that? Would you say because people live differently?
Exactly.
Yeah. Somebody living in the States, somebody living in France.
Exactly. We have the intertribal marriages, we have the interregional marriages,
interracial,
international, cut cross, and right now people are even marrying without even the whole family consent and everything. So as time goes on, the influence of third parties in your relationship keeps dwindling. And that's why the emphasis on that paper that you have, that can at least give you what you think you are due, is very important. So my take is that, look, if the lady wants marriage, marry the girl. It's like if you want to marry. If you want marriage, the lady wants marriage, no problem. If you also want marriage, marry the girl. If you love the girl, marry the girl. If you want to make a life with the girl, make a life with the girl. If you are just looking to hit and have a child before you run, this girl, to as I can see, to live with you and be steadfast, it means that she's not giving up the cookie anytime soon. So if it is the cookie that you are chasing, you won't get it. Then you might as well either even break up the relationship altogether. But this thing, listening to you having a child before, that one, it has to be a personal decision between the two of you. You cannot make that decision on her behalf. She cannot make that decision on your behalf. But so long as you are not married, you can't tell her what to do with her body. If you are married, it can be open up for discussion. I may say a few things. If they were married and she was doing shakara, my submissions would be very different. Because once you are married, he's entitled to your body just as you're entitled to his. So my submissions, but once you're not married, you're not entitled to it. So my take is that, look, my dear, evaluate the relationship you have with her. Do you love her or not? At least you know that she's a woman who can be steadfast. At least you know this. So you can be proud that even if you have to travel for a year, she'll be put. You understand? At least in your mind. All
right. So, Sisha, what are your thoughts on the fact that he's expecting her to disclose her financial status, especially how much she earns in a month? What are your thoughts on that? And also, what are your thoughts on the long list of things he needs to
First of all, because they are not married, there is no onus lying on her to disclose anything, anything, not just her finances, anything to him in that sense. First, let me play the devil. I always talk against the men in most cases. So this time around, I want to speak for the men a bit. It is wrong to allow a woman to come and live under your roof when you have not married her. There are so many things that can happen when someone, I remember one time I slept in a friend's house. She lives with her parents, and then I think I had slept there for 2 other nights, and then on the 4th night, my friend's mom was like, it's not safe you sleeping here. It's not that we don't like you, but anything can happen. You could fall sick in the middle of the night and touch would die. And then the burden becomes ours to, explain what happens to you. I think a lot of us take these things that can likely happen in the middle of from the night to the morning for granted. Anything can happen. You go and take someone's child. You don't know what kind of sicknesses or whatever she has, what family, whatever is chasing her. You come and live under the same roof with her. Something happens to her. It's a big responsibility on you as a young man to carry. If you've married someone properly and you're living under the same roof with her, it's a different story to tell. So I think it's wrong on his part to, first of all, initiate or go ahead of that plan. It makes it easier on you as a man also when you're not living with a woman to be able to, you have only you to take care of. So to be able to actually save up to have enough money to actually go and marry a woman. Now the third thing too is when you are living with someone and you start seeing all their flaws, the chances that you now want to drag your feet becomes higher. So then you brought this woman home, you now want to change your mind, and a lot of other things are pulling you from changing your mind. I think he's put himself in a disadvantaged position with him living with a woman in the same house. So I think the first thing to do is to probably, first of all, if you're not ready, because he's spoken about the fact that the list is long and he's not able to save up money for that, maybe find her 20% of the rent money. Let her go back to her parents' house. As far as I'm concerned, let her go back to her parents' house. As a matter of fact, it will even make you crave for her and miss her a lot more, and it will even ginger you to do the right thing. Right thing being, you find money, now you can save, because now you're not giving part of your money to someone who has not disclosed his finances to you every day, to be the one taking care of her, when she could probably be taking care of herself. When she's in her mother's house, she's her mother and father's responsibility until you can afford to marry her and take care of her. So you can save up to do that and then go back for her, marry her properly and bring her to your home if you still feel like you love her when she's gone.
But should the list of the marriage list always be long, especially when? Okay, let me give you an example.
I can speak.
I'm Igbo, right? And a lot of Igbo men, or a lot of men in Nigeria, are scared to marry women from Imo State. I'm from Abia State. Imo State's list, the list, Hey,
I'm from Imo State as well.
But you understand? So you understand that the list is always very long. You will buy for even people that are dead.
Yes, but
the list is very short.
But here's the thing. But here's the thing I always say about that. When you have seen a woman and you like her, there are other traditions also where they are even made to buy cows. So these things differ, religion to religion. Tradition to tradition. So I can't really impose or say what list is longer. It is highly relative based on where your spouse is coming from. Well, if I feel like my child deserves to have a long list, you are not in the position to come and tell me how short my child's list should be or not.
But is that putting pressure on the man early before the marriage?
If he cannot take that pressure, then it's his problem, not ours as a family. Wow. Yes, I don't see anything wrong with that. But what he should do is to make sure he can afford that to go and pick that woman. Otherwise, he should go and pick any cheaper one or a woman with a shorter list. If it's a list problem for him, because
I don't think.
Cut your quota. There are 1,000,001 women out there. There are some who won't even take anything. They'll just take one schnapp bottle and ask you to take that woman home. And you could end up marrying a lazy woman who won't be doing anything at home. So there are different ways to look at the thing. But I think the most important thing is to make sure you are prepared to go for that type of woman that you are picked as your taste. That's where the problem is.
But I was just thinking that the fact that the woman even contributed 20%.
Yes.
It means that this woman, I'm thinking, is a helper.
Yes.
So instead of telling the woman to go and reduce the list,
exactly,
you can dialogue with the woman. How can we handle this list?
Issue? Yes.
And maybe the woman of her own volition. Sometimes when you do things of your own volition,
not
to pay. Of her own volition, can go to her parents and say, oh, this one, can't we take it up? But you see, the moment you send her to go and make the list shorter, depending on where she's coming from, like in your state, in your tradition, if the list traditionally is long, it's a pride thing because it's inbuilt in you. You feel like the moment the man is telling you that, oh, go and reduce it, he's giving signs of, I can't afford you.
Yes.
Okay, probably.
So I think that just discuss with the lady, oh, we have this long list. So how are we going to do it? Our states currently, we are trying to, so what should we do? Okay, so because of this, maybe you should postpone the wedding by like another 2-3 months. If she's up for it, she now will go and say, no, well, maybe for this, I have some cloth already. So I'll bring my cost, something.
As a matter of fact, I'm even thinking to myself, the fact that you brought the woman home to be living with you, the family may even be frowning upon that.
Yes.
One, God frowns upon that too. The families frown upon that as well. So for me, that's why I'm very much for the idea that let her go back home. And then you can actually save up to go and marry her properly. It is wrong. Let's not condone. It is wrong for you to be living with a woman when you've not married her.
Right.
So she should do. You should start by doing the right thing first.
All right, Mary Rose, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think she's giving me a head start. Teachers give me a head start, and that's all my thinking, because that's my leaning. I know that you go and you ask for a lady's hand in marriage. Then you take her, after you've done what is necessary, then you take her to your home and then live with her as a man and wife. So right now, I don't even know what capacity in which they are living. What brought about they having to cohabit? You know, you have just gone to do the knocking. Just telling the family that, oh, when you see me walking with your lady, it's because I have this intention of marrying her. That's what it means. I have intention of marrying her. So when you see her with somebody else, then let the person know that somebody has come to see you. So from now onwards, you can cut other people off. That's what it means. So if you've gone in that way, why do you decide to go and live with her when you have not gone all the way to do the engagement or the traditional marriage? And then now you're talking about the list.
And even children.
Number one, like she's saying, it is not acceptable. Even traditionally, it's not acceptable. Even though they will see you as the man's wife to be, but you are not the wife yet. And so if something goes wrong, you will be charged. There are customary things that if something goes wrong as you live with a lady, something goes wrong, you will be charged like a husband because you are treating her like your wife.
Yes, and you have something against her
and
saying that, no, I am not ready. And you said something about religion and tradition.
Yes, and all that. So just do the right things. You are not married yet. Let her go to be with her parent, or let her go and stay wherever that she's supposed to be. And be by yourself so that you prepare and go and get her hand in marriage or ask her for her hand in marriage. And then with the list, like Stitcho said, if you see a lady and you want to go and ask her hand in marriage, this woman who has been educated in a certain way, or she grew up in a certain environment. Like I was saying this a few weeks ago to somebody. You go to somebody's house, there's this, when you met the lady, you see that this lady, even breakfast, she eats cornflakes and omelette and stuff like that.
Thank you.
And then there are other people who wake up in the morning, they are eating their wache, or they eat their whatever,
Hausa cocoa,
or even leftover from leftover from the previous day and all that. They have different taste, upbringing. So if you go and they give you a list, they are giving you a list because of where they are coming from. And when you come there, the comfort that you receive. So you don't complain. Cut your coat according to your cloth, not even your size. Sometimes your cloth might be small and your size is big. So look at the size of the cloth. Can it make scarf, handkerchief, a blouse or a shirt or a dress, a gown? Look at the size of your cloth. That is what advises you what you can do. So if you are complaining about the list, then it means that you're not ready. You're not ready for the marriage. Because it only tells you that this woman that you are going for has a certain training and taste. And so you should be able to meet her at some point. Already you are complaining about 80-20. You're even lucky. There's this 80-20 principle in life that most performers in life are the 20%. And then the 80-20 principle. And then the 80 people don't really do anything.
Well, I think she's a really nice person.
Because most of the time,
if you want me to live with you,
I don't get a bad vibe.
She hasn't even gone in, and she's doing 20%. Then when she goes in, she can even do more. Yes. So you should look at some of all these things. You don't have to complain. She is not your wife yet. She is your wife to be. You have to remember. So just do the right things. Let her go home, or you move away from her. If you, supposing you are living in a home that belongs to her family. Sometimes even men, they marry and then they go and live in the woman's family house or something, because
After getting married,
they have, yes, because some parents have homes that is there, and then
Sometimes.
I would not like it. I would. I would not like
yeah,
it.
but some
Thank God
people
my
do.
parents
I
can't
would
let
not
them have
like
that.
Some
it.
people
There's
do.
nowhere to live.
Some people do, and then
Blood
they
of Jesus. No.
So
No.
look at your situation and just do the right thing, whether traditionally or religiously. Do the right thing. You are not husband and wife. Go and live by yourself and prepare towards the marriage.
All right.
Yeah.
So on that
yeah.
note, I want to say a very big thank you to you, sisters.
Thank you.
This conversation has been great, and I love each and every submission that was given on this show. And I'm praying and hoping that whoever sent this letter, or whichever people sent this letter, I'm hoping and praying that they watched this episode. But if they didn't, I'm sure someone else, out there has taken notes on some of the wisdom that was shared today. Right, I want to say a very big thank you to you. Thanks for coming, and thank you to our sponsor, Gino. And we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, I will be sharing my final thoughts. Welcome back, viewers and listeners. If you're just joining in, this is Sister, and we have been enjoying ourselves by going through the letters that you sent to us and dissecting it and trying to find solutions for every problem that you sent. So you sent in 2 letters this week, and we just read them. The sisters have given their submission. Now it's time for me to share my final thoughts on these 2 letters. All right, so the first letter from Mr. Boachi about, having issues with your brother after lending him money and he being wicked to you and all that. I just want to say, when it comes to family bonds, we need to remember that family bonds are very important. But as we grow, we all change and have different priorities. The way you expect your sibling to be with you sometimes is not how they end up being. And it's not just because that they're trying to be wicked or something, but sometimes it's about their own priorities. So I would say, as we grow older, just treat just look at your family bonds differently. Realize that we can all be different people, and we are not the people that we used to be when we were younger. So when it comes to your brother, I think forgiveness is important, but it's also a journey. So I'm not going to force you to say, forgive the person now. No, because when it comes to me, I definitely don't know how to forgive very easily, but it's a journey to healing. So if you want to heal, it's also very important to you to forgive. So the only way you can forgive is by processing what has happened to you. Not necessarily saying that, oh, I love you so much, you're my best friend, let's go back to how we used to be. But it just also teaches you that, okay, this is how I'll relate with you from now on. I have forgiven you. For me to move on and be happy and heal, I need to forgive you. But we can't be how we used to be. And when it comes to family, it's not by force. I think it's not by force that we should always be like that. I mean, I know family is important, but like I said, we are all different people as we grow up. So sometimes it's also important to, give a distance to some family members that you think are a bit toxic to you, because not everybody will behave like you expect them to. And also, Rosie said something that was very important. Maybe you are the kind of person that expects that people should come back to you when you do something. Like, probably you are a bit entitled when it comes to some things. You should also check yourself. I'm not saying you are, but it's also very important to check on that side of things and seek emotional support. Seek emotional support, because what you have gone through, it's not easy at all. All right, so wherever you can get emotional support, I think that you should. And evaluate your relationships. Evaluating your relationship means also with family. Okay, now you know how this and that person treated you when you were in trouble. It's time for you to evaluate it and also know how I'm going to be relating with this person or that person, and also plan for your future. You like giving money out too much because you are the kindest person, you are Jesus Christ. Have a limit. Very, very important. I've been there before. I give, I share, but Charlie, when strong thing hits you like this, you go straighten up. So it's just time for you to straighten up. So, like I said, so plan for your future, all right? Know that you have things that you need to save money for. Not because you have 4,000 CDs and then you are the nicest person in the universe, and if somebody come and say, give me 4,000, you give the person. It's not like that. Maybe you give the person 1,000 and say, okay, well, this is what I can give. Don't give the person everything now. You don't know with this Ghana economy, you want to play. No. So it's important for you to plan your future. And a very big thank you to you, Mr. Boachi, for sending in your letter and for trusting us to, go through this and, find ways for you to go through this problem. And now for the second letter about, young man living with woman when he knows that they are not yet married and they are doing husband and wife things when you've not paid bride price. The question I want to ask you, why are you expecting wife things when she's just still a girlfriend? I don't understand why when you people do that. You're expecting wife duties and she's just a girlfriend. Okay, are you doing husband duties? Well, anyway, you should really reconsider the way you think, all right? In the sense that you talked about religion and tradition just because she said she wants marriage before, having sex with you. Why don't you go pay the dowry and, clear the whole list that the parents have given you before also wanting the whole thing? So it's 1-1. If you do that one and she does, God no go verse. You should do your part, so she'll do her part. You understand? If you like her that much, I think it's important for you to go out there and pay her dowry and know that, okay, I've paid it to baby girl, you're not my wife. But you should also respect consent. I think it's important to respect consent. This fact that we are not really happy that she's not giving you the cookie, but you want the cookie so badly, and she's saying no, not now. So if you want her and want the cookie, it's doing you like that. You want the cookie, nah. Go and marry her now. Why are you waiting? You are cohabiting, and then we've heard the sisters everything they had to say about cohabiting. Charlie, it's true. It may sound sweet in the beginning, but at the end, they see finish. There's this thing we call see finish in Nigeria. You don't respect the person again. You people now become like mates. Just look at each other anyhow. I've seen everything. There's no surprise. There's no element of, wow, what's this? Ooh, baby, you now become like, this is it. So I think it's important that you reconsider your relationship and then have a conversation. If you're worried about her not telling you her finances, you should have a conversation. Why do you even want to know her finances now that you're not even married with her? Oh, calm down. Calm down. And if you want to move out from the house, I think it's important you should. If you want to move out, yeah, you should. But don't move out of anger. Have that conversation with her that, baby girl, I'll be leaving this house. It's just because I need to save, to pay for that long list to, come marry you. Don't just leave out with, don't leave with anger. Because at the end of the day, she might think, you are gone. And she will go. And there will be another person that will pay that long list. Anyway, thank you for sending in your letters and trusting that we can read and find solutions to these problems that you're facing in your relationship. Remember, if you have anything that you're dealing with when it comes to relationship, we can help you with that. And how do you send in your letters? Send in your letters via sisterislive@gmail.com, and my sisters and I will definitely help you dissect through this problems with some solutions that we can come up for you. Ladies and gentlemen, this was sponsored by Gino. A very big thank you to Gino for sponsoring this. And obviously you've been listening to this on City 97.3 FM and you are watching City TV, and this has been Sister